The goal of this video is I can write the sine function of a given angle by labeling each side of the triangle. So what is the sine function? It's this new thing that I put in the objective for today. And what is it? The sine function is a function that has an input of an angle measure of a triangle, and it gives the output of the ratio of the opposite side of that angle to the hypotenuse side of the triangle. So we are going to have to use the labeled of triangles that we had in the previous video, the opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse, and use that as part of a function to get a directed outcome. So you will see the sine function abbreviated as sin, and it'll be sin of an angle. So this is read as the sine of angle A is how you will see it. So if I have this triangle here, and I want to find the sine of angle A, or as it's written, sin of A, I need to identify angle A. Okay. Angle A is this one right here. It's in the corner. Here's A, right? So this side right here, this is angle A. Okay. Now I'm going to have to label each side from the perspective of A. So if you remember in the last video when we talked about this, there's the opposite side, which is the side that is directly opposite of the angle. There's the adjacent side, which is next to it, but there's also the hypotenuse, which is directly across from the right angle. There's no right angle written here, but if you are astute and if you could see, this forms a right angle, it forms a perfect L. So this is a right angle here. Across from that is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is also the longest side. So I look at each side length here. 5 is the biggest. That would make it the hypotenuse. And then that leaves us the adjacent side, which is directly next to the angle. So next to angle A, there's length 5 and length 4. The length 5 is already the hypotenuse. That would make 4 the adjacent. Okay. So when I look for the sine of angle A, I need to know the opposite side and I need to know the hypotenuse. It keeps moving. Okay. The opposite side is 3. So we care about this side. And the hypotenuse is 5. So the sine of a function is an input of an angle measure. So we're inputting angle A. And it gives an output, so it's equal to the ratio of the opposite side of that angle over the hypotenuse. So the opposite side of 3 over, so divided by the hypotenuse side, which is 5. So sine of A is 3 over 5. That is the sine ratio of angle A. It's 3 divided by 5, 3/5. Okay, let's look at another example. This time let's find sine of C. So once again, I'm looking now at angle C, but I'm still going to do the sine. So angle C is this one over here. We're going to label each side of the triangle from the perspective of angle C. It's different than angle A. This time the opposite side is 4. Right? It's directly opposite of the angle. The right angle is still right here, and its opposite side is 5, which would make that the hypotenuse. And again, the hypotenuse is the biggest side. 5 is still the biggest number of this triangle. That hasn't changed. Now the adjacent side is going to be the remaining side, this side 3 right here. It's right next to, adjacent means next to, it's right next to angle C. Okay, so sine of C, sine of C is going to be equal to the opposite side, which in this case, its opposite side is not 3, it's 4. So it's going to be equal to 4 over the hypotenuse, which is 5. So sine of angle C is 4 over 5. And that's how we use the perspective of the angle to give us the sine function of that angle.